Hello everybody and welcome to our new life hack, in which we will continue what we started the last time. That is, we are showing you how you can automize your workflow in Omnis and Fidelity via Python. So if you haven't seen the previous life hack, I encourage you to take a look at it. Today I'm gonna take a step back, and before I start I would like to give you an overview of the various methods there are to launch a script in Omnis or Fidelity. So specifically there are in general 4 ways to execute a script that I can think of. Maybe there are more. The first 2 have already been shown by Matthias. That is, you can launch Omnis or Fidelity via the command line and add this option -script, which could look something like this, and then Omnis or Fidelity is launched and the Python script is executed in the next step. So that's option 1. The second option is you can use the Python script recorder. That is also something that we showed the last time. So here in Omnis or Fidelity we have a tab called Python Script Recorder. You can import your script right here. It will be displayed in this window, and then you can just execute the script by, say, play all scripts. And today I will focus on the third option, which is you can run what we call a hook script on a selection via the right-click menu or the project management panel. So specifically, imagine you are in the family tree, you have some simulations right here, and you can just right-click, for instance, on the simulation, which could also be a mesh setup or some geometry object. You just right-click and say run Python script on selection. And the fourth option, which will be probably covered in the next life hack, is you can automatically execute a hook script after some process. So for instance, after you imported a geometry, after you ran a simulation, but also before. But like I said, that's something that we will cover probably in the next life hack. We will see. So let me show you how this looks like in practice. So here I am in Fidelity in the simulation context, and on the left hand side we have the family tree with an array of simulations. And as I already mentioned, I can just right click here and say run Python script on selection. And maybe I'll just give you a preview what I want to do here. So I just select a number of simulations, I say right click and say run Python script on selection. And then a dialog basically opens in which you select the script that you want to launch. So I have prepared a couple here. In my case, I would just like to create a scatter plot showing me all the important values from these simulations, for instance, efficiency or pressure ratio. So I just say OK. Then it's going to take a second, and then in my case this window will open and it shows me different values. So for instance, efficiency, total pressure ratio, and outlet static temperature, and so on. And this is something that I wrote, so that is nothing that comes with the product. It's basically just a Python script which is executed on the selection. And what's actually happening is that all these simulations here, specifically the simulation name, are passed as arguments to that script. So in my case, it would provide the simulation names of all these simulations, and then in the Python script, I basically just get all the results from these simulations and I plot it. So that is nothing that comes with the product. Again, I repeat, but the product offers me the possibility to do additional post-processing or do whatever I want, basically. Yeah. And just to be sure to explain it, the simulations I select will be considered in the script. So for instance, if I just select those 4 simulations here and execute the script again, then I will only see the results for those 4 simulations. And also the order in which you selected makes a difference. So what I have here is I calculated a speed line basically. And so if I would change the order in selecting these, for instance like this also changes the order in which these simulation names are passed to the script. So sometimes that's probably irrelevant, but you should know that, and you should consider that when you set up your code or when you select your projects here. So as you can see, in my case, the speed line is a little mixed up. That is something you could take care of another way. But yes, and if we take a quick look in the code, basically the structure is simple. We will not go into the details. You just import your libraries, and it's important that you import the sys library, because as I said, Fidelity will launch this script and pass the selected objects, or better, their names, as an argument, which you can collect, for instance like this. So in my case, I get the simulation names, which are passed as an argument. I put them in a list, and then I loop over this list and do whatever I want. Oh. Okay, I hope I made myself clear. So this is one possible application of using a hook script. Another one would be, for instance, if I have a certain number of simulations that I would like to run in succession. That is also something you could do with a hook script. So if you want to run them concurrently, all you would have to do is you select both simulations and then press start. However, if you want to run them in succession, I just click on the simulations that I want, and then you have to write a little Python script which iterates over all these simulations and runs them. So in my case, I just right click here, run Python script on selection, and then I have this little script here which I think was already also shown in the last Lifehack, run selected simulations. And now what it's basically doing is it transfers those arguments to the script, and then it will run it in my case. So what it's important to know is that a hook script cannot be interrupted. So if for some reason I notice that I made a mistake, I will not be able to stop this right now. Maybe just I could kill the whole program, but the script itself cannot be interrupted. And just to show you what it's doing, I provide a number of cores. I get via the sys args, I get all the selected simulations, and then I run them. So that's basically it. So I showed you 2 possible applications. Like I said, you can apply this in the post-processing context, so under the results analysis. You can use it in the meshing context. Yeah, basically sky is the limit. I hope it helped. Please provide us with feedback. If you have additional questions, don't hesitate to shoot us an email, and have fun playing around with it.